Hi everybody. Today we are going to go over some drawing exercise. I want to go over the elements of art lines. I know we did a lot of value in class, so I want to switch over to drawing skills using lines, particularly hatch lines, cross hatch, curly lines, and a little shading, because when you draw, the more you do it, the better you get. And drawing is fundamental to anything that you want to do that's artistic. You need to know how to draw. And all of the famous artists spent a lot of time with their drawing. It's a skill that teaches your hand and your eye to coordinate together. So let's try something today. I found a bottle and I'm going to show you how to use some rules for drawing to draw this bottle on a page. I have a sample over here that I did with some shading with hatching and cross hatching and a light source. So let's start. So here's my bottle, and sometimes people have trouble getting the size of the bottle correct. It's either eensy teensy or huge on the paper. So one thing you can do that's a rule of drawing is to measure with your pencil. And it's really very simple. You take your pencil and you hold it against the object. And you kind of take your fingers and scooch them down to the top of that object. And there you have the size. Then go to your paper and mark it with your finger where the bottom is and make a mark. And then you might have to go back, because I took my fingers off the top of it, and approximately here is the top. So I'm going to put the pencil down where it was there, and I'm going to mark the top. So from here to here is the approximate size of our bottle over here. And then simply look at the shape. So the shape of this bottle is a cylinder. So right away we know that's the shape it's going to be. And the main shape on the top for the lid is actually a circle, but from my vantage point, it's more oval. So I'm going to take that circle and elongate it. So the top of my drawing is simply using my eyes, and I'm following the outer edge. And you keep looking up and down and just begin to map it out. A rule of drawing is to draw lightly at first. You draw lightly so that you can erase, and that is another rule of drawing. So I'm looking and I'm mapping and I have my eraser. I'm not really happy with how that looks. So I just go back and I fix it. And remember, drawing is practicing. So then following the edge down on the cap, and it is still round. So I'm going to go back and do round drawing marks right here. And then I'm following the shape down for the side. And you just draw lightly, go down to that pencil mark that marks the bottom. So that's your guide. So as you look and you draw, you know that the bottom is approximately where you marked it. And since the bottle is even on both sides, I'm using this side to guide my other side. And I'm going to draw up. And then I'm going to go in because the bottle goes in. So you know what? I'm not really happy with how that looks. I tried my best to follow it with my eyes, but you see, that's your brain trying to do what your hand is telling it to do. So again, you need to follow and maybe erase. and all artists fix. No problem. So here you have, I've mapped out this bottle on my paper. So at this point, I'm now going to go back and start to create the shading that I see on it, because my light source is actually coming from that window over there. So my light source is over here, and I'm just going to gently indicate it. Some students will draw a sun in the corner. That's fine if you're outdoors. Just draw it lightly. It is a light source, but I'm going to pretend that there might be a lamp shining on my bottle. This entire side of the bottle is in shadow because the light source is coming from that direction. So check that out when you're drawing. You always want to keep your light source in the same place. Then go back and remember the hatch marks are little lines placed close together. Crosshatch are lines placed close together, and then there's other lines that go across, hence the word crosshatch. So the cross-hatching lines actually shape your object. Hatching is what you do to follow the shape along, and cross-hatching actually becomes the shape. You can curve your crosshatch lines to follow the shape of this curvy bottle. So that is what I'd like you to try today. I'd like you to try finding an object that you want to draw. I chose this cylinder shape. You can use a water bottle. You can use a toothpaste tube, whatever you want to draw. Draw lightly at first. You want to measure the object. Again, use your pencil. Measure it with your fingers to the top and then map that down on your paper. Use hatch lines and crosshatch lines to shape your object. And at the end, wherever that light source is, on the back side, there's going to be shadow. And I would look very carefully at your bottle where it touches the surface. That's where your shadow is going to be the darkest. Enjoy your drawing and have fun with it. The more you draw, the better you're going to get. Bye.